The air crackled with excitement. Laughter echoed through the courtyard. The aroma of roasted lamb and freshly baked bread filled the air. It was a wedding feast in the village of Cana. Friends and family gathered to celebrate a new beginning. Music played and guests danced, their joy contagious. Nestled among the rolling hills of Galilee, Cana was a humble village. Life here revolved around family, faith and tradition. Weddings held a special significance, celebrating community and new beginnings. The entire village participated in the festivities. The wedding at Cana was no different. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation and merriment. Amidst this joyous gathering, Jesus and his disciples arrived. Little did anyone know that this ordinary celebration was about to witness an extraordinary event. As the festivities continued, a shadow of worry crept over the joyous atmosphere. The wine, a symbol of joy and celebration, had run out. This was a social mishap, a cause for embarrassment for the host. Whispers of the shortage spread from table to table. The merry chatter subsided, replaced by hushed conversations and concerned glances. The host, his face etched with worry, frantically searched for a solution. Mary, the mother of Jesus, noticed the host's predicament. She approached Jesus, her eyes reflecting her concern. "They have no wine," she whispered. Jesus responded, "Woman, why do you involve me? My hour has not yet come." Mary, however, trusted implicitly in her son's compassion and power. She simply turned to the servants and instructed, "Do whatever he tells you." Jesus, moved by his mother's faith and the host's plight, decided to intervene. He noticed 6 large stone jars, each holding about 20 to 30 gallons. "Fill the jars with water," Jesus instructed the servants. The servants, though puzzled, obeyed without question. They filled the jars to the brim. The scene was one of stark contrast. The dwindling merriment of the celebration juxtaposed with the servants' determined actions. As the last jar was filled, Jesus uttered a simple yet profound command. "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." His voice, calm and steady, resonated with authority. The servants, their hearts pounding, dipped their pitchers into the water-filled jars. The master of the banquet, unaware of the miracle, accepted the pitcher from the servant. He lifted it to his lips, expecting the familiar taste of water. But what touched his tongue was beyond his wildest imagination. The water had been transformed into the finest wine he had ever tasted. Astonishment filled his eyes. He summoned the bridegroom, his voice a mixture of bewilderment and awe. "Everyone brings out the choice wine first and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink," he exclaimed, "but you have saved the best till now." The room erupted in astonishment as the news of the miraculous transformation spread. Guests whispered in hushed tones, their faces a mixture of disbelief and awe. This was a display of divine power, a testament to Jesus' authority over the very elements of creation. The miracle at Cana was not merely about quenching thirst, it was a symbolic act, rich in meaning and significance. The transformation of water into wine held deeper connotations, pointing towards the transformative power of faith and the abundance of God's grace. Wine in biblical times was more than just a beverage, it was a symbol of joy, celebration, and abundance. By transforming the water into wine, Jesus was making a profound statement about the nature of his ministry and the kingdom he came to establish. The abundance of the wine, 6 jars filled to the brim, spoke volumes about the generosity of God's grace. It was a message of hope, a promise that God's provision is always more than enough to meet our needs. The transformation itself pointed towards the transformative power of faith. The miracle at Cana was not just a spectacle for the guests to marvel at, it was a catalyst for faith. The disciples, witnessing this extraordinary display of power, were filled with awe. Their belief in Jesus deepened, their understanding of his divinity expanded. John, in his Gospel, tells us, "This, the first of his signs, Jesus did at Cana in Galilee and manifested his glory, and his disciples believed in him." The miracle served as a confirmation of their faith. The guests at the wedding, though not all followers of Jesus, were nonetheless touched by this extraordinary event. The miracle sparked curiosity, ignited hope, and planted seeds of faith in the hearts of many. It's about trusting in God's power to work in our lives, even when we don't understand how or why. The miracle at Cana, though a historical event, carries a timeless message, one that resonates deeply with us even today. It reminds us that Jesus is concerned with every aspect of our lives, even the seemingly mundane. He cares about our joys and sorrows, our celebrations and our struggles. The miracle is an invitation to experience the transformative power of faith in our own lives. It encourages us to bring our needs, our anxieties, and our hopes to Jesus, trusting that He can turn our water into wine. Just as He transformed the water, He can transform our hearts, our relationships, and our circumstances. The miracle at Cana is a message of hope, a testament to God's abundant grace and His desire to bless us. Let the miracle at Cana inspire you to live a life filled with faith, hope, and the joyful anticipation of God's abundant blessings.